That's interesting because you could have felt like you were deserted.
Yeah.
But to end up feeling that you were chosen, that's pretty powerful.
Well, I don't think I'd say that we're chosen more. I'd say that I would not want to put them through that.
I can't imagine what it's like to be the surviving son. Did you feel chosen or did you feel deserted? Does that question make any sense to you?
Sure. It's funny you say that because I felt chosen in the way that my dad gave me a tape recorder back when I was in 5th grade. It was Bell and Howell. You could talk into it, and I couldn't believe I could hear my voice. And so I thought, I love my dad so much. I filled the tape. It was, one day Dad's going to die, and I'm going to talk. And here I am alive while he's still alive. And so I'm going to say something to make me feel better. I said, man, I'm sorry, Kev. Sorry, buddy. And I just filled the tape up with that.
Oh, as if you were impersonating your dad?
I can comfort myself later when out of work.
No, dude, that's really interesting, though. That's so interesting.
But I remember saying, Dave and Carrie, we loved each other so much. I thought, I can't bear to lose them. I could not bear it. And I thought, but they loved me that way. And so I said this, even in a prayer, I said, God, if one of us has to stand back, if one of us has to be the only one, let it be me.
Wow.
Because I'm hard and I'm strong inside. Well, God made me that way, but I didn't know it would ever happen, but I did say it.
I used to have, this is silly, so when I was growing up, I didn't have any, whenever my dad died, I didn't have anything of his, right? I didn't have like a shirt or like a button or just anything to remember him by. And so I used to write postcards to my kids, right? Whenever I was on the road, just traveling over the years doing comedy, I would write postcards to my kids. I don't have any kids yet, but I would send them postcards just so in the future they would be able to see that I was thinking of them, right? I wanted to prove, I was
That's
like,
so smart, bro.
But I just think it's the same type of thing. You're just trying to, I don't know, you're always thinking of how do I make sure that somebody knew I cared or that somebody knew somebody else cared.
I'm going to die someday.
Yes.
I'm going to die someday.
It's just stuff like that is interesting. I think a lot of people do little things like that. But that's interesting because you could have felt like you were deserted.
Yeah.
But to end up feeling that you were chosen, that's pretty powerful.
Well, I don't think I'd say that we're chosen more. I'd say that I would not want to put them through that.
That's interesting because you could have felt like you were deserted.
Yeah.
But to end up feeling that you were chosen, that's pretty powerful.
Well, I don't think I'd say that we're chosen more. I'd say that I would not want to put them through that.
You were the one that could handle it.
Then I think I would not want them to go through it. I would rather me go through it than they did. And I think
that's sweet of you.
God might have gave me some credit for that because it's all about this. We're in a struggle. We're not on this earth to laugh it up and have fun. We have real tests and life is hard. And that kind of stuff that kicks you in the nuts is what makes you stronger, makes you more strong. And without that, you can't give advice to people about things you haven't been around. But once you've had it and suffered yourself, now you can say, listen up.
With that said, and I agree. I was just thinking about that the other day. I've always had this outlook, and they don't teach you that when you're a kid as much, and they really shouldn't when you're a young child. But I think they should teach you at some point that life is a test, that it is full of a lot of tests. And it's not all just going to be like this perfect thing, or everything might not work out the way you think it. You never really get that education, or maybe some parents do give it to their kids. But with what you said a second ago, if you had to share something with somebody who had lost a sibling or who had dealt with some grief from loss, something that you've learned because you're almost the Neil Armstrong of loss. You've endured a lot in your life and watched other loved ones endure a lot. What have you learned that you feel like you could share, if anything?
Well, thank you for giving that opportunity because that's what I want to do is to try to make it positive for somebody, buddy. But it's tough because I want to tell people like when somebody dies, it's going to get better, but it doesn't get better, man. You don't even get used to it. It just keep tolerating it and you just somehow it gets a little better someday. But there's no good word to say to them. But when somebody's really busted up, you know, when you overcome that and are able to maintain through that, well, then it's now you've achieved through a struggle. You've achieved over an obstruction. You've gone over a hurdle.